Across civilizations, through millennia, echoes persist. A deep-seated human apprehension. A yearning for closure. Or perhaps, a new beginning. We speak of prophecies, of ancient texts. Of a time when the world turns on its axis, irreversibly. A time foretold. But by whom? And what signs might herald its coming? A universal human fascination. The end. Or is it just the beginning of a profound transformation? In the tapestry of Islamic tradition, these whispers grow louder. A sense of urgency, amplified by global upheaval. A profound expectation. Of a figure, a leader, destined to emerge. To restore justice. To guide humanity through its darkest hour. This is the Mahdi. The guided one. His arrival, a pivotal moment. But is the world truly ready for what comes next? Is history merely repeating itself, or is something truly different unfolding? For centuries, the question has lingered. A quiet speculation, now a fervent discussion. Has the Mahdi arrived? Are we witnessing the very signs described in sacred texts thousands of years ago? Or are these merely coincidences, interpreted through the lens of our current anxieties? The world holds its breath. A profound question. Demanding a nuanced exploration. An answer sought, yet perpetually elusive. What drives this renewed urgency? Before we delve into signs and speculation, we must understand the core. Who is the Mahdi, according to traditional Islamic teachings? He is not a prophet, but a righteous leader. A descendant of the Prophet Muhammad, destined to emerge at a specific juncture. His role, to fill the earth with justice and equity, after it has been filled with oppression and tyranny. This is the fundamental, widely accepted belief. A figure of hope. A harbinger of change. Not a new religion, but a renewal. The primary sources for these beliefs are the Hadith, narrations attributed to the Prophet Muhammad. These revered texts describe the Mahdi's lineage, his characteristics, and the momentous events preceding and accompanying his appearance. While different schools of thought within Islam may interpret details uniquely, the fundamental concept of the Mahdi is widely accepted by both Sunni and Shia traditions. This is not a marginal belief. It is foundational. A shared expectation across a global faith. Across the Muslim world, from Cairo to Kuala Lumpur, this expectation resonates. A belief in a divinely guided leader who will rectify the wrongs of the world. A universal desire for peace and justice. This shared narrative provides a powerful framework for understanding global events. It instills hope, but also a deep responsibility. A sense that humanity is building towards something grander, something preordained. But how does this hope manifest? And how might it be twisted? The Hadith do not merely speak of the Mahdi, but paint a vivid picture of the world leading up to his advent. Specific, often dramatic, signs are described. Global chaos, widespread injustice, and calamitous wars. A moral decline. A cosmic shift. These are not subtle hints. They are profound markers. Signals, if you will, embedded in the very fabric of time. Markers that believers are constantly seeking in the unfolding drama of our world. One prominent sign is the proliferation of oppression. The world, it is said, will be filled with tyranny and injustice. Power concentrated in the hands of the few, suffering for the many. A stark contrast to the justice the Mahdi will usher in. This isn't just political instability, it's a systemic failure of equity. A deep-seated imbalance that touches every corner of society. A world groaning under its own weight. Is this a description of our present? Or a perennial human condition? Beyond human events, certain cosmic and earthly phenomena are also mentioned. Changes in the heavens. Unusual weather patterns. Geological shifts. These are presented not as mere background, but as integral parts of the unfolding prophecy. Nature itself will bear witness. The sky, the stars, the very ground beneath our feet. These signs speak to a grander scale of divine intervention. A universe in alignment with a preordained plan. But how do we discern the truly prophetic from the merely natural? The Mahdi isn't an anonymous figure. His appearance is described with specific physical traits. A broad forehead. A distinct nose. His name, Muhammad, and his father's name, Abdullah. These details provide a tangible, almost personal, dimension to the prophecy. He will be from the lineage of the Prophet Muhammad, through his daughter Fatima. These are not vague allusions. They are specific identifiers. A puzzle, pieces waiting to be assembled. But by whom, and when? Throughout Islamic history, anticipation of the Mahdi has periodically surged. Moments of crisis, war, or widespread suffering often spark renewed belief that his arrival is imminent. Different figures, in different eras, have been proclaimed or have claimed to be the Mahdi. From the Abbasid period to the modern day, the historical record is replete with such instances. This shows the enduring power of the prophecy, but also the human tendency to seek immediate answers in times of distress. A recurring pattern. A testament to enduring hope. And perhaps, enduring human error. This historical record also includes numerous false Mahdis, individuals who either sincerely believed themselves to be the foretold leader or exploited the prophecy for political gain. These episodes highlight the critical importance of distinguishing authentic signs from self-proclaimed, often dangerous, movements. History warns us. The fervor of belief can be manipulated. A cautionary tale. A constant reminder to scrutinize claims. What separates a true sign from mere human ambition or delusion? One of the most dramatic modern examples occurred in 1979, with the seizure of the Grand Mosque in Mecca. A group of fundamentalists, led by Johaman al-Otabi, proclaimed his brother-in-law, Muhammad Abdullah al-Qahtani, as the Mahdi. This event sent shockwaves through the Islamic world. It was a stark, brutal demonstration of how literal interpretations and fervent belief can lead to violent, misguided actions. A vivid example of modern attempts to force prophecy into current events. The world watched. In horror. And in fear. How easily belief can be distorted. Mainstream Islamic scholarship consistently cautions against hasty declarations or attempts to pinpoint the exact timing of the Mahdi's arrival, emphasizing preparedness and righteous living over speculative excitement. The focus, traditionally, is on inner purification and adherence to Islamic principles, rather than actively searching for a leader. The wisdom lies in humility, in patience, in submission to divine timing, not in frenzied anticipation. A timeless lesson, often forgotten in moments of perceived crisis. The true path is internal. Ultimately, the belief in the Mahdi is seen as a test of faith itself. It requires trust in God's plan, even when the signs are unclear or seem contradictory. It's not about knowing the when, but understanding the why, the ultimate triumph of good over evil, justice over tyranny. This theological perspective frames the entire discussion. It elevates the spiritual dimension above mere chronological prediction. A deeper challenge. A spiritual journey. Not just a prophecy to be decoded, but a promise to be understood. At the right time. Today, the landscape of speculation is vastly different. Global communication, instant news cycles, and interconnected crises fuel a new kind of urgency. Events in the Middle East, political upheavals, economic instability, and climate change are all being scrutinized. Seen through the lens of ancient prophecies. Is this a new era of genuine signs? Or simply a heightened capacity for pattern recognition? The world feels smaller. The crises, more immediate. Making old prophecies feel new again. A dangerous cocktail of information and belief. The ancient texts, illuminated by modern headlines. Specific geographical areas, particularly the Levant, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, hold significant prophetic weight. Conflicts in these regions are often cited as potential harbingers. The intensity of current events there, the humanitarian crises, the geopolitical maneuvering, all seem to resonate with descriptions of an unstable, war-torn pre-Mahdi world. For many, this is not mere coincidence. It is fulfillment. A ticking clock. A focal point of prophecy. A crucible of change. The ancient maps come alive. With modern bloodshed. One widely cited hadith speaks of the Euphrates River revealing a mountain of gold, over which people will fight. Modern interpretations connect this to regional control over resources, particularly oil, or even literal geological discoveries. The shifting sands of time. The eternal allure of wealth. And the destructive power of greed. Is this prophecy a literal geological event? Or a symbolic warning about the relentless pursuit of resources? The river flows on. Undisturbed. Or is it a treasure hidden? Or a deadly temptation? Beyond physical signs, the moral decay of society is a recurring theme in end-times prophecies. The erosion of family values, widespread corruption, and a general disregard for religious principles are often highlighted. Many see echoes of this moral decline in contemporary society. A world adrift. Losing its ethical anchor. Is this a unique characteristic of our time? Or a timeless human struggle, amplified by modern connectivity? The fabric of society, fraying. The ancient warnings, now digital headlines. Interestingly, some modern interpretations stretch to include technological advancements as part of the prophetic narrative. The rapid pace of innovation, the rise of artificial intelligence, and global surveillance are sometimes viewed as tools that could enable future tyrannical systems or even connect to prophecies of an Antichrist figure, the Dajjal. This is where interpretations venture furthest from traditional texts. A brave new world. Or a fulfillment of ancient warnings. Where do we draw the line? Between technology and prophecy? Various traditions mention a red star or comet appearing in the sky before the Mahdi's advent. This celestial sign has sparked considerable modern discussion, with some linking it to astronomical events or even specific comets observed. The heavens, once again, bearing witness. But are these specific astronomical events merely coincidences? Or true harbingers? The universe itself, participating in the divine drama. A sign in plain sight? Or a projection of our fears? Prophecies also speak of the Arabian Peninsula undergoing significant transformations, with lands turning green and rivers flowing. While traditional interpretations might focus on future agricultural bounty, modern observers sometimes connect this to climate change effects, desertification, or ambitious terraforming projects. The desert blooming. A miracle. Or a testament to human ingenuity? Or a sign of profound planetary shift? How does nature reflect prophecy? And how do we interpret it? Among the most dramatic signs is a voice from the sky, heard universally, proclaiming the Mahdi's arrival. This sign, if literal, would leave no doubt. But how would such a voice manifest in our interconnected, technologically advanced world? Could it be a celestial event? A global broadcast? Or is it a spiritual revelation, heard not with the ears, but the heart? A sign of undeniable clarity. Or a profound spiritual awakening? The ultimate announcement. A divine intervention. Or merely human hope projected upwards? It is crucial to distinguish between these layers of belief. Traditional Islamic teachings, derived directly from hadith, form the bedrock. Historical interpretations show us how people have grappled with these prophecies through time. Modern speculation, however, is a more fluid and often perilous territory. It often blends genuine religious inquiry with contemporary anxieties, political agendas, and even unverified claims. The line between faith and fantasy becomes blurred. Where does interpretation end and fabrication begin? A discerning eye is required. A significant danger lies in overly literal interpretations, especially when applied rigidly to complex, often symbolic prophecies. This can lead to misidentification, extremism, and even violence, as seen in historical events like the Mecca siege. Prophecies are often understood as having multiple layers of meaning, not just a simple checklist. The true wisdom lies in understanding the spirit of the prophecy, rather than obsessing over every granular detail. A path fraught with peril. A warning from history. To not mistake the map for the territory. In the digital age, unverified claims and elaborate conspiracy theories thrive around end-times prophecies. Videos, social media posts, and obscure websites often connect the Mahdi to specific political figures, secret societies, or imagined global plots. These narratives often lack scholarly rigor and can be deeply divisive. They sensationalize. They mislead. They distract from the spiritual core of the belief. How do we navigate this labyrinth of misinformation? What is truth? And what is carefully crafted deception? The digital fog of war. Recognized Islamic scholars play a vital role in guiding understanding. They caution against sensationalism, encouraging a nuanced approach rooted in authentic texts and careful interpretation. Their emphasis is often on the spiritual lessons embedded within these prophecies, self-reflection, seeking justice, and preparing for the afterlife. Not frantic prediction, but steady devotion. They act as guardians of tradition. Filters against the noise. A voice of reason. In a world clamoring for answers. Ultimately, the message of end-times prophecies, including the Mahdi's arrival, is not meant to incite fear or passivity. Instead, it serves as a powerful call to individual and collective responsibility. To strive for justice. To uphold moral values. To live a life of piety. These actions, rather than waiting for external salvation, are seen as the true preparation for any future event. The emphasis shifts from cosmic spectacle to personal virtue. A spiritual awakening. A constant striving. The true meaning of readiness. The precise timing of the Mahdi's emergence remains known only to God. This fundamental tenet prevents definitive predictions and anchors belief in divine sovereignty. It reinforces the idea that humanity is but a part of a larger, unseen plan. A grand narrative unfolding at its own pace. This humility, this acceptance of the unknown, is a cornerstone of the belief. The mystery persists. The future remains veiled. And perhaps, that is precisely as it should be. A test of our faith. A journey into the unknown. Despite the potential for conflict and suffering described in prophecies, the Mahdi's arrival ultimately represents hope. The promise of a world purified. Of justice reigning supreme. This vision sustains millions through times of despair and perceived global injustice. It offers solace. A future where wrongs are righted. Where peace truly prevails. A light at the end of a long, dark tunnel. This is the profound spiritual comfort that the Mahdi offers. Not a terrifying end, but a blessed beginning. A universal aspiration. So, has the Mahdi arrived? Are these truly the signs? The truth remains veiled. The answers withheld. This journey through Islamic end-times beliefs reveals a complex tapestry of faith, history, and human interpretation. It's a story not of certainty, but of enduring mystery. Of questions asked across generations, and answers revealed in due time. The world continues to turn. The prophecies remain. And the great anticipation persists. The unknown. The ultimate challenge. The enduring power of belief. Perhaps the most profound message isn't about pinpointing an exact date or person. but about reflecting on our own actions, our own readiness. The prophecies serve as a mirror, showing humanity its flaws and its potential. They challenge us to build a better world, regardless of what the future holds. To live justly, compassionately, and with purpose. To be worthy of the coming change. This internal journey, this self-assessment, is the true wisdom, the ultimate preparation for what lies ahead, for what must come. As global events continue to unfold with bewildering speed, millions around the world will continue to watch, to wonder, and to pray. The belief in the Mahdi is not fading, it is adapting, resonating with new generations grappling with unprecedented challenges. It is a powerful narrative, shaping perspectives and driving actions. A testament to humanity's eternal quest for meaning, for justice, for ultimate redemption. The world holds its breath, waiting for a sign, for the guided one, for the final hour, or its glorious new dawn. Is this the final act? Is the curtain truly rising on the events foretold centuries ago? Or are we simply in another chapter, another period of intense human drama, where ancient prophecies offer a lens through which to interpret chaos? The questions linger, unanswered. But perhaps, the true answer isn't in what will happen, but in how we choose to live until then. How we prepare. How we hope. How we believe. The final act. The ultimate revelation. Or a journey without end. The choice, in a way, is ours. The legacy of Islamic prophecy surrounding the Mahdi is not just a collection of predictions. It is a profound spiritual inheritance. A reminder of divine purpose. Of humanity's ultimate destiny. It speaks to our deepest fears and our highest aspirations. It compels us to look beyond the immediate, to consider the eternal. To reflect. To prepare. To hope. This enduring legacy, this powerful narrative, continues to shape the hearts and minds of billions. A timeless story. In a world rushing towards its future. Or its past. In a world rife with uncertainty, the impulse to seek answers in ancient texts is understandable. But true wisdom, many would argue, lies not in claiming definitive knowledge of the future, but in navigating the present with integrity and faith. The Mahdi's story, therefore, is not a roadmap for doomsayers. It is a guide for seekers. For those who yearn for a better world. For those who believe that even in the darkest hours, a light will ultimately emerge. A light that reminds us that hope is eternal. That justice will prevail. This belief is the spiritual heartbeat for millions, offering context to global events and a profound sense of purpose. It encourages vigilance without panic, and hope without delusion. The prophecies invite introspection, challenging individuals to embody the very justice and righteousness the Mahdi is destined to restore. It is a powerful call to personal transformation. A quiet revolution of the soul. A preparation not just for the world, but for eternity. The echoes continue. The world waits for the final answer, for the guided one,